other people's opinions. I don't want to give anything away.
We'll try and get to it soon enough.
Worth seeing. Some great 3D shots.
All right.
There's an airplane crash at the beginning that's got some great stuff, debris flying at you.
All right. Well, thanks, Steve. Welcome, everybody. I think, let's see, Oleg is here. Hello, Melinda. Hello, Ed. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
We might be getting a few more guests and members tonight. I can tell you that Bob Bloomberg, Phyllis Maslin, and Jay Kusnes are unavailable tonight. So we have, for a change, a reasonable number of photos in our slideshow. 26 photos as opposed to, I think we had over 40 last month. So it should be a less hectic meeting tonight. If you are looking for our live stream links, they're in the chat. Let me know if anyone needs any assistance with that. I think that I'm ready to start the slideshow, unless anyone has anything they would like to announce or share before we begin. Doesn't sound like it. Let's see if I can get this working. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I share the right one. Yeah, there we go. If you're following along on Zoom, you should see the title slide for the full width side-by-side format. Oh, we are waiting for Roberto, but let's go ahead and get started so that we don't feel rushed. We're going to start with a photo by Steve tonight. Oh, that seemed to work. The title is Barbie Land. Take it away,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, this is a display at the LA Academy Museum in near Hollywood. And it's a relatively new museum. It's a really great place. And this is the art director of Barbie Land and a bunch of other stuff that's amazing. So, this is what they built. I can't remember the person's name. I believe it's a woman. And this is what she built. And so they showed this, and I took a cha-cha of it.
What do you think your separation was here?
It's not too dissimilar from a normal camera, maybe 3 or 4 inches.
Matt, there's a text at the bottom of the YouTube successfully connected there. Now it's gone.
Is that gone? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Steve, is this related to the Barbie movie from a year or two ago?
Oh, yeah. This is the art director of that movie. And this is a set that she built for Gina Gershwin, the director.
Greta Gerwig.
Thank you. Yeah, Greta Gerwig. I had her confused with an actress, a different actress. Yes, this is what the art director built to say, this is what the Barbie Land could look like. So it was designed for the movie, and then they just built it as a tribute.
Certainly captured the feel of the movie really well. I like the palette a lot.
Yeah, the movie was lots of fun. I hope you guys got to see it. It was not in 3D, unfortunately, so this is as close as you get to the Barbie movie, but in 3D.
Yeah, I assumed it was related to the movie. I thought I wasn't clear if we were looking at an actual movie set or like a model, a diorama of the set.
Yeah, it's just a model. It's not very big. I mean, the whole set is, maybe uh 20 feet, but I mean the buildings are not very tall.
Very nice. Thank you, Steve. All right. I think Roberto just joined us. Welcome, Roberto.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. And from Roberto, we have VW. Roberto, are you all set up? Can you see your slide on your screen?
Yes, I don't know why I couldn't join. I was waiting, but well, now I'm here.
Oh, well, glad you made it. You didn't miss much.
Well, yes, this was a picture that I took here in Mexico City in a museum, an exhibition. Maybe you remember one that I took. Well, I showed you like I don't know 3 or 4 months ago. There were many small balls like forming different shapes, and this was part of that exhibition. So this was like an explosive, like how the vehicle is assembled, and it was interesting to see how everything was floating in the museum. And as also you can see the simplicity of the car here.
Great subject. Reminds me of that old World Expo short, New Dimensions.
Yeah,
It
that,
was in San Francisco.
This was I want to say Chicago. This was in the 50s,
Okay.
maybe the 40s, and it was an animation of a full sized car being assembled invisibly in 3D. It's fascinating.
Yes, this was something like yes, maybe similar to that, and
Yeah.
this was I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when this was display. This display was shown here in Mexico City. This was
Great.
with my W3.
Yeah, great subject.
They found a good angle to get a view into pretty much the whole thing.
It was really difficult because as you well, if you use the W3, you remember it's like a 75 millimeter, so it's a little bit close. So I have to go farther away. Like this was like I don't know. As much I can get farther, I couldn't get the whole car, so it was a little difficult with the angle of the lenses.
I've had some success stitching together upper and lower views, making mini panoramas.
Okay, I have to learn how to do that.
It's tricky in 3D, but it can be done.
Okay, maybe we could get a little workshop here to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I'll recruit you for that after this meeting.
I'll have to get my software situation in
Of
gear
course,
first.
of course, yeah. I think the short that Tor mentioned is on the 3D Rarities 1 disc.
Indeed.
For those who
Oh, wow.
have such things. Yeah, Roberto, I'm reminded of that short also, but of course we're describing something you haven't seen, so we'll try to get that in front of you at some point.
Thank
is
you.
that film, was that ever called Motor Rhythm?
Yeah, it had a couple of different titles.
Okay.
Motor Rhythm.
Yeah, I thought it was earlier than what you said. I thought it was
It
more
might,
like,
it might be 40s.
I think it's 1940.
yeah, I think it's really early and probably maybe the first full color 3D film, or one of the first.
Mm.
That's exactly what the 3D Rarities disc says. New Dimensions, the first domestic full-color 3D film originally shown at the World's Fair in 1940. Well, thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
Great subject. Herb, you're up next. I think I got your photos in order this time. Alert me
Okay,
if they're not.
appreciate it.
This is an AI conversion. The title is Cat Wizard with Birds.
And so basically, I don't have the, excuse me for not being prepared. I should have had the prompt that I could read to everybody, but this is these photos are all from my free PDF book, Midjourney Cats. If you go to midjourneycats.com, and basically approximately what the prompt was a cat dressed as a wizard holding a magic wand with birds flying around.
So it seems like it's interpreting the whiskers, half of the whiskers as being part of the background.
Yes, and that's basically evidently one of the so this was converted using Owl 3D, and um, that is evidently one of the uh, problems with any depth related conversion is that very fine lines often get put into whatever the background is. So where the hat is behind them, they're at the depth of the hat, and where the hat ends, they're at the depth of the background. And so unless you're willing and able to do a lot of editing of the depth map, that's that's a restriction or a limitation that you have to live with. There was a very good lecture or presentation at the New York Stereoscopic Association about the limitations of automatic depth conversion. And if anybody's interested, I can find a link to that and put it in the chat. But boy, and now I can't remember the guy who did the presentation. He's very, he's often appears on Photo 3D, but he talked about approximately 6 different limitations that you're going to run into whenever you do automatic conversion, and the fine lines was one of them. Another one he talked about was things like mirrors or windows. He talked about the fact that depth mapping is often driven by a real world application, which is self-driving cars. And self-driving cars don't want to crash into a window, so they want to know the depth of the glass pane, not the depth of what appears, what you're seeing through the glass pane. So the the algorithms, from the point of view of the people who develop the algorithms, they're with both mirrors and transparent glass. They're behaving exactly as they want them to behave. They're showing the depth of the mirror or the glass. But it was a very educational presentation.
I'd like also to see the whirls of light around the wand in the space of the wand instead of as a galaxy in the background.
Right. Yes.
And the bird at the bottom, the wings, there's something happening with that blue bird's wing where it's sort of melding with the bird behind it.
Oh, yeah. It bends backwards.
And I think the bird behind it has a cat face, which is more to do with the more to do with Midjourney and less to do
Right.
with Owl
Yes,
3D
so
in this
there's
case.
two pieces of software at play here. The first one is Midjourney, which generates a 2D image, and then Owl 3D, which does the conversion of 2D to 3D. Basically, what I do is I look at all of this and I say, okay, I am impressed by where it is today compared to where it was, even a year or two ago. And I hope in a year from now or 2 years from now, it's much more advanced. And I'm also looking at these things and I'm saying, boy, if I went out with my camera, I could not get an image as good as this. So you can say, well, Herb, you're a crummy photographer, and so okay. But so I've been having a lot of fun with Midjourney.
We're not going to
It'd
say
be
that, Herb.
interesting to try compositing this image in layers, to do a prompt that was just the foreground and a prompt that was just the background. That way you get the atmospherics in the right space.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
Herb, this is Peter. Do you have a good tutorial for learning Owl 3D? Because I haven't used it yet compared to Mercity, which I want to get away from.
Okay, so I have in the introduction for Midjourney Cats, I talk about the configuration of Owl 3D, which is basically I'm using pretty much all the defaults. But basically, if you use that as your starting point, I'm trying to find the page in the book where I do that. But if you look in the index, it will give you the exact page where that. But that would certainly be a good starting point. And what I'll do, so that's on page 3 of the book. So there are about 6 different parameters. There's the 3D strength, the render style, the auto convergence, the render for that could be right or left eye, the depth method, and the AI model. And so I give the value, the settings for each of those. And if you start out with that, I think that's going to get you started. But Peter, if you have any questions, always email me, because I'll take 2 actions based on that. Number 1, I'll answer the email, and number 2, I'll update the book to put more information in.
Thank you very much, Herb.
Yeah.
Thanks, Herb. And I
and
have
so
go ahead, Herb.
I will put the links for these things in the chat when I'm not busy talking. So just look for them in a few minutes.
Please do. Yeah, I was going to ask.
That'd be great.
Be sure to download Herb's Midjourney Cats book. It's a free PDF. He updates it monthly, I believe. So you want to check it for the most recent version. And we will enjoy some more of Herb's Midjourney Cats this evening. And I have plenty of comments of my own to share about these, but I don't want to dominate that conversation. Thank you, Herb. These are fascinating. Let's move on to one by me. This is a native shot. I captured this, I guess it was 2 weekends ago with my twin Sonys. This is the Bob Weir Homecoming. This is a tribute to Bob Weir, founding member of the Grateful Dead, who passed away recently, and there was a Buddhist celebration of his life at San Francisco Civic Center, and this stereo image depicts an altar, and everyone was given a rose to lay on the altar. And pretty conventional shot, but I thought it turned out pretty well.
Great shot. But what's happening with the woman with the blue dress? The camera with the left and the right shows like black. I don't know what.
I think there's a reflection on the camera lens because
Okay.
Didn't
just
notice
visible in
that.
one eye, not the other.
Yes, it's funny.
Let's see, I didn't notice that. Blue.
The woman in the center, she's holding up a phone. There's
Yes.
a rivalry on the phone. And I think it's
Oh,
just
I
a
see
reflection.
that. I hadn't noticed that. Yeah, Tor, I think your theory is probably correct. It's just picking up the light in one eye and not the other. It's reflecting on the lens. I can.
It's also vibrating a bit with the window on City Hall in the background.
Yeah, that's
It's right
the.
adjacent to it.
I see that. Yeah.
There's also one little bit of rivalry on the man's face in the upper left.
Oh
There's
yeah,
a
a bit of
there's a very
tree,
bright white spot in front of his eyes
a bit of sky shining through the
I
on one.
trees.
see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not in the other. So just might want to paint out that bright spot.
Yeah, great tip. That would be easy to do. I can also paint out that window on City Hall and darken or lighten the smartphone lens of that woman photographing the altar. Amazing. I hadn't noticed those things at all. Great. Yeah, thanks for the feedback, guys. Let's move on to one by Melinda. This is Bodega Bay School.
Yeah, so I just took a couple of back-to-back trips. I hadn't been out of town in forever, and I had to. Well, anyway, so I took a couple-day trip up to Bodega Bay and another one to visit some friends in Victoria, Canada. And so Bodega Bay was my first trip, and I decided I wanted to see what I could find that might still remain from the filming of the birds.
Mm.
And there's very little left, but it was fun to chase them all down and see what I could find and try to make decent stereograms. And so the main building is definitely the schoolhouse. I guess that was Potter's School or something at the time, and then and it, and this I'm kind of um, I'm kind of proud of what I did with this image because it was so challenging. It was there was really no good uh, compositions that I could get out of it. I mean, you could sort of like go all the way around the building at this sort of distance, but there's no good vantage points that I could find. Um, but I chose this because I could sort of juxtapose the church in the background, which was also briefly visible in the film, I believe, and was also a famous Ansel Adams photo that he took of that church. The day was really drab. It was hard to get any nice contrast or anything. I did end up adding about 10 points of saturation, which I used to do just as a matter of fact for almost all my images, and lately haven't done that pretty much at all, but it really helped in this case. And I also took some liberties in Photoshop. Anybody guess what I did? This is really a question for Tor.
Let's see.
Well, you didn't add any birds.
No, that would have been a good idea. No, it's pretty trivial, pretty much trivia. The currently the building has no sign on it,
Ah,
but I found a a still that somebody had taken while they were filming, and that had a it was a color picture. It showed the sign that was on the building at the time. So I sort of cut and pasted and stretched and transformed and put it back where it belongs. So you're looking at the modern version of the building, which is pretty close to the way it was back then, and with the sign that it had at the time. This isn't in Bodega Bay. Actually, this is in the town of Bodega. It's about 10 minutes outside.
Nice.
So it's accurate to the movie, but not to the history.
Nice.
I was wondering in the movie whether he had the church leaning back like yours.
I think that's just the low perspective.
Yeah, I think so. And the church is up a little bit of a hill from there. But I think it's mostly just that the verticals are tilted in. I straightened them a little bit. I played with straightening them fully, but it didn't look right. So I left it about halfway in between. So it's there's a bit of foreshortening going on there, but I think it helps. But it definitely
Good job getting the sign behind that electrical wire.
Oh, thanks. I actually drew that in. I never used the line tool in Photoshop, but yeah, just drew a straight line where
Nice.
it gone under there. If you're able to zoom way in, there's actually several wires that are, and you can see their shadows on the sign, but they're pretty faint. So the original building at the time had some wires sort of almost following the same direction here, but they were different ones. And I considered trying to clone that out completely, but in the end, it just looked like it would be too much work for too little. And I think it kind of helps too. It adds a little more depth to an otherwise fairly flat composition.
Yeah, I think that wire is important. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Melinda. And be sure to, everyone should watch The Birds. It's not 3D, but still holds up very well.
Great image and great movie.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Melinda. Next up is a pair of photos by Ed. Welcome, Ed. Ed, I've put your two photos together because they definitely seem related. And I'll let you describe what we're looking at here. The title of the first one is Little Egg Cluster.
Yeah, there was just some neighborhood kids playing in the yard and turned a rock over, and they found these tiny little white eggs. And so they wanted to know what it looked like under a microscope. So I put it up for them. And so that's the next picture was one of those little eggs. I just included this one just for, like context,
Right.
Otherwise you can't tell. I mean, it's just kind of like mysterious what you're looking at.
So coming up next is a micro stereo photo of one of these eggs.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's what they look like, and they're about 1 millimeter long, about 1 millimeter, maybe a tiny bit more, and they were interesting to look at because they were actually moving inside there. That if you look on the left side, there's like a kind of a cone shape, and then a little loop comes out from that, and that loop was like expanding and contracting in this kind of rhythmic way. It was kind of interesting. I thought it was kind of pretty in its own little way, you know, little clear, you know, sphere, little life inside. So,
Yeah, very impressive. Any idea what is going to hatch from this egg? A spider, a centipede, something or other?
according to Professor Google, it's slugs.
Okay.
But
Right.
I did keep some in a dish. We'll see if I have a slug farm in a couple of weeks.
Well, I hope they don't invade your house.
Yeah.
And you took this with your stereo microscope, is that right? Or is it just a regular microscope?
Yes.
Shooting out of the two viewers.
The two eyepieces, yeah.
Two
Just
eyepieces.
moving the camera from one to the other.
And you're using your smartphone, right? Just two
No.
photos.
No. It's a dedicated microscope camera.
Got it.
And actually, I was going to mention also, it transmits. It's made for like a classroom setting because it has its own Wi-Fi router, and it creates a local area network, and it transmits to a tablet. So I guess the idea is the teacher puts it up on a microscope, and everybody in the class looks at the image on their tablet. And I found out there's a similar thing to stereo photo maker called 3D Steroid.
Oh, sure.
And that's what it's called, and it works on Android tablets. So that's actually how I made a little adjustment on this one.
Love the depth of the background on this.
The background?
Yeah, I love how far back the background detail is. The way the egg seems to be floating in space.
Well, the little egg is on a glass petri dish, and so the background is the what do you call it? The stage, the microscope stage, the platform of the microscope under the glass. So that's the depth to give the depth of the glass that the thing is sitting on.
Nice.
It's nice that you don't have.
I found out.
Oh, go ahead, Ed.
I found out this kind of thing. I can't do focus stacking because when you it doesn't focus like a camera lens. The actual camera moves closer and farther, right? So it alters the perspective. And then it looks okay in a 2D picture, but it just doesn't match up when you have a left and right. The perspective is like distorted, and you just can't get it. You can't get your eyes to what do you say? Resolve, the picture. So that's why I couldn't get like the little lumps of dirt stuck on it. I just pick the best focus level that looks the best and just have to go with it. Can't do anything more about it.
Yeah, very successful. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
I'm going to put a link in the chat to 3D Steroid, which is an Android app, as Ed said, for Android phones or tablets. Does anyone know, is it also available for iPhone, or is it strictly an Android? Not sure.
Sorry, I was muted. I believe it is available for iPhone.
All right. Well, this link is for Android, but it's definitely worth looking up if you don't have it already. Very versatile. It does alignment. It's got like a cha-cha aid to help you with your cha-cha shots. Definitely worth checking out. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
We have not heard from Oleg yet. Oleg, we have one by you coming up next.
Shoot, I'm running out of battery. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, well, we won't keep you too long. The title of this is Side Entrance to a San Rafael School.
Yeah, that just happened to be the only picture I saw that did any good. I'm having a problem because my computer broke down, so it's difficult for me to focus the pictures.
How did you put this one together? Was your computer working when you aligned and edited this?
Yeah, I had to put in. I'm working on my laptop, and I had to put in uh, I can't speak. My brain doesn't work.
Sure. Well, it's a beautiful photo, Oleg. Why don't you reach out to me if you need help with your computer? Happy to share what knowledge I have. But I do like this photo too. It's having the background illuminated really draws my eye into it.
What I would like from you is I need to buy a new computer, and I don't know how to read instructions at all.
Sure.
If you could say what brand and what you might suggest for a desktop computer.
For a desktop, not a laptop, but a desktop computer.
Right.
You got it.
So
Sure.
if you are a Costco member, I would recommend going into Costco and seeing what they have, because that's gonna, if they have something that serves your needs, it's certainly going to be a very competitive price, and they give you a longer warranty.
I was gonna make the same recommendation for Costco because they also provide lifetime tech support.
Mm.
And when I first used their tech support, it was great. It was better than that provided by the manufacturer. Lately, I've heard there's been like a change and wasn't quite as good, but it's still very helpful to have somebody talk you through your problems. And like I said, like as long as you have the computer, you can get their support.
Oleg, we'll get you straightened out. I'll send you some recommendations. You're looking for a Windows computer, right? Oh, we might have lost Oleg. Well, he did say he was losing his battery, so we will see if we hear from Oleg tonight. If not, he can view our YouTube recorded live stream later. I'll follow up with Oleg. We'll get him taken care of. We don't want him to stop making these photos. Does anyone have any feedback about this photo for Oleg that he might be able to listen to later in the recording?
Well, we should certainly call out his connection between the red leaves and the red sign in the back. I'm sure that's what caught his eye.
On my monitor, it seems the center of it seems a bit washed out.
The background's overexposed. I think just to get something out of the trees in the foreground, I think it's probably a fair trade, but I'm sure somebody could go in with curbs and make it a little more balanced.
Yeah, sometimes you can separate those into different levels and adjust them separately.
It's tricky with trees, though. You end up with
It
halos
is,
a lot of
yeah,
the time.
you're absolutely right. That's why I said sometimes.
Yeah.
It's possible Oleg just didn't have access to his version of Photoshop. Maybe he was planning on doing that, or maybe he will do it.
I like the kind of negative space of the road sort of snaking between the trees.
Yeah, there's a lot to explore here. Well, thank you, Oleg, wherever you are. We'll hear from you later, and I'll be following up with you very soon. Until then, though, let's talk to Steve and hear his thoughts about Green Halloween.
So I've submitted several of this particular trip to LA and, on Halloween, and people just go crazy over there, and they make these really elaborate displays. And this is just another one that you just keep adding to it. I mean, there's a lot to explore in this place.
Very true.
And, using colored lights for emphasis.
This reminds me of a tableau a friend of mine put together last Halloween in honor of friends and family who had passed. He actually had a table with skeletons dressed with clothes and memorabilia of those departed friends and family members. It was actually quite fascinating.
Wow.
That would have been appropriate for Bob Weir.
Indeed.
This looks like it might be a scene from Beetlejuice.
The football players put me in mind of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. At least that background. Maybe I don't remember if the receptionist there, if that was the one giving out the numbers. I don't know.
Maybe it's an homage. That would be their caseworker.
It's funny, they're both number 13.
Steve, you shot this with your W3, or is this a cha-cha?
It's a cha-cha.
Okay, I was gonna say it's really sharp for a low light photo like this.
Yeah, I remember looking at that, thinking that came out really good. I think the light's pretty bright, but yeah, I mean it's definitely at night. So, I mean the strides they've made with the cameras, the phone cameras, are just amazing. The light sensitivity is far superior to any dedicated camera that I've had.
Yeah, you would have needed a tripod if you had shot this with your W3. And your spacing is really nice too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. Roberto, next up is one by you. This is Crystal Tunnel.
Yes, I took this picture last Friday with my friend. We went to an exposition, and actually the real exposition that we went to, that we attended, it was a really short and really boring one. So we went to this other place that is close to this huge park that I have told you before, Chapultepec. And here is another place, a cultural place. And they have, well, here you have two entrances. This is one like maybe like a sideway entrance for disabled people, and there's a main one that have huge stairs. But here, as you can see here, the effect of the depth, it's a really good one with all these crystals and all these cartels on the side. So I asked my friend to stand in front of the camera and took the shot with my W3.
Terrific subject.
Yeah, there's so much to see here because of the transparency of these walls of this corridor.
Yes, actually, the real photo, well, as you can remember, the W3 have really washed out colors, so I have to pump it up with affinity so you can see all the colors because the real one it's a little bit boring.
Yeah, really nice.
This might not be of interest to very many people here, but if you watch the Anaglyph live stream, as an anaglyph, this one works pretty well because there's very little blue and very little red.
It's all legal colors.
Right. It's washed out. It probably looks closer to what the W3 originally photographed, but just a bit of trivia.
The pedestrians on either side, outside the corridor, really help the shot as well.
Yes, all the elements with the transparency and the light. It was a really good light because we have been with these cloudy days, and here the sun came out, so it's a little bit. You have a shadow that give you a little bit idea of the depth of the of the place here.
Yeah.
Really nice. Thanks, Roberto.
Thank you.
Well, the exhibit was boring, but you still came away with a great photo.
Actually, this was a secondary place. The first one we came from another place, so it was like we visit this like an alternative. So this was even better than the first one.
Got it. Great. Totally worth it. Herb,
Thank you.
we have two cats in red sports car coming up next.
Yeah, so this was, I tried the same prompt over and over and over again, and I got cats sitting on top of the roof of a car, cats walking behind a car. I got everything except what I wanted, and I kept, yeah, but each time I tried it, I got something a little bit different, and I kept trying, and finally this came out, and it wasn't. I mean, it was. I just said, "Wow, this is." I didn't know I was looking for this, but this is what I was looking for, and
Worked out very nicely.
And the conversion seems to have understood that the cats are in the car, which is sometimes a problem with figures in cars in conversions.
Yes, even the reflection works well.
It's a little the reflection's a little flat. It has some depth, but yeah, it'd be interesting to go in and really fiddle with it.
But at least the floor has some geometrical depth to it.
It's got perspective.
Right, because the rest of the picture is mostly background.
But yeah, if you look at the right eye, you can see that the reflection is mapped to the geometry of the floor instead of extending downward.
Oh yeah, the headlights are much too forward.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what you were describing to us, Herb. The
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
challenge
and
of
I did.
reflections in these
I did put a
conversions.
link. Somebody else beat me to it, but I did put a link to the presentation in the chat. There's actually two different videos. One is the actual YouTube of the thing, and the other is the link to the NYSA website. So between the two of them, you should, really be able to get any of the information you want from Harold's presentation. And then I summarized it, really, just I listed the 6 problems that he highlighted in the book, but for the full detail, watch his presentation.
And I think we're too far away to notice any discrepancies with the whiskers in this conversion. We'll
I think that's true.
that's one solution to it. Yeah, be sure to check out the NYSA video that Herb just mentioned, presented by Harold Bays, who's also a legacy Golden Gate Stereoscopic Society member. The New York Stereoscopic Association meets seasonally,
The next
I would
meeting
say.
is Valentine's Day, so it's coming up.
Oh, right. So less than 2 weeks to the next NYSA meeting. Worth visiting those meetings and worth viewing the recorded meetings posted on YouTube that Herb has provided a link to. One of them here. Thanks, Herb. Yeah. Great information there. All right. Thanks, Herb. Our next photo is by me. The title is Document Search. I photographed this on Sunday at the flea market. I was looking for a movie projector, didn't find one, but I did get this okay photo. I took it with my X-Reel Beam Pro. I think the depth is okay. I'm not very happy with the color. I've complained about this with the X-Reel Beam Pro before. I feel like in very bright natural light like this was around noon, colors tend to get kind of washed out in this with this camera. I did play with the saturation a little bit. I did adjust the white balance to make it a little more natural. It really had kind of a blue tint out of the camera. And I did crop this down a bit too. I had a lot more sky in the original. So nice composition, I think. And that's all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, it's a fine composition. Did you try the highlights and shadow highlights?
I really didn't. And I probably, maybe I should have. What do you think?
I think it would help, and also the shadows too. There are not that many of them, but you could bring out some detail in
You
the
should be able
dark
to
parts.
find something in those blown up papers on the right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The real beam can shoot raw.
Say that again, Roberto?
Camera raw?
Well, raw files that if the camera can, well, the X beam can shoot raw.
No,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think that's available. I haven't
Yeah.
found any way to get access to it.
It has almost no settings at all.
Oh,
it's a very simple camera app. No manual settings. And its output format are full width side-by-side JPEGs at a pretty reasonable resolution. But I certainly can and will run this through Photoshop's Camera Raw filter, which does work with JPEGs.
okay. The same with the W3, so I can't complain.
Yes. I mean, it's the camera that we have with us because it's small and portable in spite of its flaws.
Yep. The simplicity.
Yeah.
It's a lot of value for the price.
And the other thing is, since it looks like a cell phone, it doesn't attract a lot of attention.
Precisely. Yeah.
Actually, have made many friends with my setup with RXOs or the QX1s. They really, for other photographers, they really are attracted to them. So the rig is a little bit friendly for photographers, not for policemen because they are annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting how much more invisible you are shooting with a camera that looks like a smartphone than one that looks like a stereo rig. Well, thanks for the feedback, guys. I will definitely adjust shadow highlights in this and see if I can't improve it a bit. Let's move on to one by Melinda. The title and the subject is Crater Lake.
Yeah, so this was on the way back from Canada on Christian's plane. Some of the older members here will know Christian and his plane.
Yes.
He's done us a very nice service.
Yeah.
And so we went to visit some mutual friends who had recently moved up there. And this was also a great chance for me to test my new passport and things like that. And on the way there, we were a little stressed for time, but on the way back, we could dawdle, and we followed the Cascade Mountains all the way down, like 8 or 9 different big, snowy volcanoes and stuff. It was just fantastic. And one of the last big spots here was Crater Lake in Oregon, where we got really close. This is not zoomed in at all. And I'm very happy with how this turned out. It was the original shots are a little bit muted, like a lot of aerial shots will be with this much distance. But I tried running it through the exposure setting in Photoshop under adjustments exposure, and it does sort of a histogram adjustment, which in most cases makes a mess of most images, and it's mostly useful in a lot of like really troublesome exposures. And this one was not; these were not really bad photos, but there was a lot of dynamic range, and it really brought it into control. I really like what it did. In fact, it did such a good job that it made the saturation look fake. Although, and I was about to like lower the saturation, but then I realized Crater Lake is really a special lake in the world for color. It's got a color I have never seen anywhere else. A deep blue. It's almost black, and it still doesn't. The photos still don't do it justice, but you can get an idea of that here, which I'm very happy about. The island is called Wizard Island. Everybody should go there if you get the chance. You can take a little boat out there to the island. It's really a very special place.
Thank you for those lovely pictures the lovely picture of Crater Lake, because I've been there twice and I've never seen it. It was fogged in both times I arrived.
You couldn't see the water at all?
Nothing. It was
Oh.
thick fog just by coincidence. I didn't make a special trip to see it, but I was going by it on 2 different occasions, a couple of years apart, and never seen it yet.
No, I'm so sorry.
You have
Yeah.
now brought it to me in 3D. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd never seen it in 3D before either. It's a special place.
And this is such a special angle too. I've never seen Crater Lake this way from this. It's a pretty low altitude in this position too. very unique.
Yeah, we were probably maybe 1,000 feet higher than the crater rim. So we're about as close as it kind of looks. Um, and I was also trying to be mindful of not getting too close, because a lot of times when there's something that I'm shooting from the plane and I have the ability to control the angle of the plane, it's just kind of natural to keep moving toward your subject, but then you can end up right on top of it and not be able to get a good composition. But this time we had plenty of time to prepare. I think he also cut the engine, cut our speed by quite a bit, which gave me more time. And we took a couple of passes first, once down sort of past the northwest limb, and then we made a fast bank, and we made another pass down sort of the southwest rim. And I don't know which one this was.
And as far as I know, it's impossible to fly a drone in these areas because it's a national park, right?
Well, they've certainly got very restrictive about drones. I think they've gone a little too crazy about that. But that might be right.
Melinda, did you use your DSLR to get this pair?
Yes. And like I said, this was zoomed all the way out. And I also did have the presence of mind to try taking some 2D pictures with the Beam Pro, and because I was curious about what the wide angle lens would do. The result was pretty much the same as you see here, both in quality and in composition, but there were some like reflections from inside the plane, and like the corner had a bit of the plane occluding it, and and it wasn't really like a better quality image or anything. It was, but it did come close to the DSLR in terms of quality. It was just I wasn't able to use it.
Good to know. Yeah, remarkable landscape. Thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
Oleg, welcome back. We had some nice feedback for your last photo. You can watch the YouTube recording if you'd like to see it. If you're able to comment, coming up next is BevMo in Albany.
Yeah. What is that main street that runs through
San Pablo Avenue.
Which side again?
San Pablo.
Yeah, San Pablo. That you could just walk along that street and see all kinds of neat things to photograph. In this case, that dark patch at the bottom that goes toward the center, I'm going to have to go back there and find out what the hell that is.
Looks like some PG&E exploration.
Could be.
Digging up some submerged lines.
Yeah, but it's smooth. They covered everything so it matches the rest of the street.
Yeah,
You're just about around the corner from where I used to work for 10 years, the Albany Twin.
I thought that dark patch was a shadow, but I couldn't find what was casting the shadow.
It's a flat. It's an object, real object. But I thought it added to the composition.
Yeah. You've got some nice color work going on here too. The red leaves of these trees, the Bevmo signs, and you've got a fire truck there that matches everything.
I usually go to the Sierras for fall, but this is as close as I could get.
Well, there's a lot to explore in this neighborhood. Solano Avenue, as you said, San Pablo Avenue. Very nice. Thanks, Oleg. Steve, we have one by you coming up next. Oracle Coke is the title.
Yeah, this might look familiar. This is out the window of the Muni on my way to see Cirque du Soleil about a month ago. And so it's a, cha-cha, like Melinda's, it's out the window. Well, I'm not up quite as high. It was raining that day, really overcast. So, I increased the contrast and the saturation on this.
Well, you've got some really nice verticals to emphasize the depth.
Nice collection.
Yeah, very nice. Definitely worth a visit if you're in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Steve, did you say you were going to a game on Muni?
Cirque du Soleil.
No,
Cirque du
I was
Soleil.
going to see. I went to see the Cirque du Soleil show,
I see.
which I would recommend, but it's already gone. So I don't want to taunt anybody with it. But yeah, if you haven't seen a Cirque du Soleil show, go see it sometime. In your lifetime. They're amazing, and not every show is as fantastic as all the others. But because I've seen a couple of that were like an ordinary circus, but sometimes it just knocks your socks off, and this one did. I'm trying to remember what Echo, I think, was the name of this particular show. But there'll be more, so go see one.
Yeah, I have to second that. Their skill and artistry are very high, but and one is maybe enough. It just if you're mildly interested in that kind of thing.
I think they come to the city pretty regularly. They've had, several shows here over the years. I'm guessing they'll be back. All right. Thanks, Steve. Roberto, tell us about Melania.
Well, yes, as you may know, the First Lady just released a new movie, and there are some advertising around the city. And this photo I took it when we were going. If you remember the last picture, we were moving from the first place to the second place, and in the middle we found this billboard that it was a little bit vandalized. And well, maybe you don't need a translation for the red letters, but it was funny to see this. I believe it expressed the feeling here in Mexico about the topic.
I mean, the poster just gives you all that empty space to play with.
Yes, well, every billboard here in Mexico about this movie it's vandalized, so you can imagine.
Well, you have a nice composition here too. The poles and the poster. It would be you've made it a more interesting stereo photo by including this entire set instead of just the vandalized poster.
Yes, actually, that's why I show you this one, because I have another version of this, but it was a little bit flatter because it was only the billboard,
Yeah.
and this has the poles, and with that it made the composition. Also, if you can find, well, I there's something that I don't like the W3 is the flare on the lens that you can see maybe with the, I believe the right one has the flare of from the sun, and it's a little bit washed, but I couldn't fix it on time because I took this on Friday, and I had some stuff to do during the weekend, so I couldn't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to, you know, white balance at least some of that flare out.
Yes, I try the contrast, and also I don't remember the setting that reduce the like the blur. I don't know how.
I think there's in Photoshop there used to be a just an auto color option that would white balance pictures and get them looking closer to each other.
Oh yeah. Also, yes, the 3D photo maker make the this like match the colors of the
Yeah.
both pictures. I didn't try that.
Yeah, that works well.
I use, what do they call it? Burn control.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Okay,
you visually can,
Just going manually.
yeah.
I will try that.
The light touch.
I've also used the channels and edited the individual color channels of the lens flare to kind of paint it out. That's something you can try also, if it's something you're going to pursue. But I like this photo. I love the texture of the poles next to the poster, the flyers and the lettering and the street sign. Add some interest.
Everything. Yes, yes. Maybe I will show you the other one, but it's a little bit boring. So this one is the right one.
Well, as the sooner, we forget about this movie, the better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Roberto.
Thank you.
Herb, this is, well, the title, I think it's self-explanatory. The title is Artist.
So basically, what I asked for was a cat doing an oil painting. And the surprise, and very often you don't get any surprises, and sometimes you get just a wonderful surprise. The surprise for me this time was the cat in the background watching, because that is something I didn't ask for, and I just thought, but wow, what a perfect addition to the image.
Owl 3D did a really good job on the fur of the artist cat. Of course, the whiskers are all over the place, as we've discussed.
Yes.
But the fur itself, that's something you certainly couldn't do by hand. It's also interesting how the AI has sort of formed a hand out of the paw.
Yes.
Just for full disclosure, I've been experimenting with my own AI generated cat images that I later convert to 3D. I'm using Immersity. And I'm not using Midjourney, I'm using, what's the Google one? Banana
Yes.
Nano, one way or the other.
And so I think one of the differences is with the Nano, and I haven't used Nano Banana, but what you're doing is you're providing an image of your own cat, and then that cat is what's appearing in the image. And you can do something similar with the Midjourney using what's called a character reference or a style reference.
So you have a targeted subject.
Right.
Nice.
But I have not used that except in some very rare exceptions where the AI wasn't trained on what I wanted to appear. And so, for example, if you do a search for Spot the Robot Dog, is Boston Dynamics makes a robot dog that is if you have to ask how much it is, you can't afford it, but it's intended for, like law enforcement to send into, crime scenes where it's too dangerous for a human to go in, and it can take photos or do other things. And so I wanted that to be one of the subjects, and Midjourney wasn't trained on it, so I used a style reference. I said, here's the image, and then it was able to put it into the composition, and that is in the book. So there's a pretty complete index in the book. So if there's anything I talk about and you go to the index in the book, you'll find it.
Can you provide multiple angles of a subject reference, or do you just have one to choose from?
Just one.
Yeah, very
Herb, does it tend to have all the action pointing to the left in most of the pictures, or do you cause that to be done?
No, I haven't. That was certainly unintentional. And I don't think that's always the case, but it might just be I haven't actually gone through and counted where it's to the left and where it's to the right, but it might just be the images I selected tonight. But actually, I guess I could now go through the book and look and see if that's what always happens.
I'm impressed that the conversion caught the dimension of the easel behind the painting. It seems to be the proper space.
Mm-hmm.
Is this cropped in from an original, or is this the
No. So
received?
basically, in Midjourney, you can specify an aspect ratio, and I've always used the aspect ratio 16:9 because that's what matches my 3D TV, which is what I use, what I consider to be the optimal viewing device. And so I do have a calendar. The calendar is available. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, the calendar is available as a PDF online, but all the printed copies are gone. But there, because the pages are 8.5 by 11, the images on this are cropped in from what appears in the book to make, and they're also not stereoscopic, but they're cropped in to make them fit on the pages.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Herb. Very successful. I've been very inspired by these, and I think for our next open next month, I will probably show one or two of my cat conversions, which Herb has already seen, so he won't be surprised.
Yeah, and they are good. I was impressed by them.
Thank you. Well, don't thank me. Don't credit me. Credit the AI.
Actually, it's always necessary to credit the human who comes up with the prompts.
Good point.
Because
yeah.
None of the AIs that I'm aware of prompt themselves, although I guess there's a new social media site for AIs that where AIs are now talking to each other, and maybe they'll start fomenting revolution or something.
Coming up with all sorts of ideas. Well, I don't think they're smart enough to come up with stereo cat conversions. Once they hit that point, then we really have something to worry about. When they start submitting to our meeting, then we know we've lost. It's all over. Could happen. We'll see. 2026 has just started. We might have some AI members. All right. Thanks, Herb. This next photo is by me, Oakland City Center, 12th Street. This is just looking up from one of the 12th Street BART station entrances. This is a cha-cha. I took it with my my Samsung smartphone. And I thought it was nice composition. A couple years ago, I went to a 3D con, and George Themelis gave a presentation. I think it was called Look Up. And it was basically about finding compositions by looking up. And I took that advice to heart. Over the years, I've taken a few photos that I've been happy with by looking up. And that's...
Yeah, I guess that didn't make it into this year's specials, right? Didn't we vote on that?
I'm not sure if it was even on the list looking up. It probably should have been. Well, there's always next year. And I think it's a good rule of thumb, especially in my case. I'm in the same neighborhood all the time. So things get a little stale, and it could be hard to be inspired by things you see day after day, but looking up can give you a fresh perspective.
I've got a fairly large collection of local pictures looking up, but they're all 2D. But you look above the second or third story on most buildings, and you'll see, crenellations and details that you just hadn't paid attention to.
Yeah. Well, Tor, once you get your computer situation straightened out, we'll talk about Owl 3D and getting those converted.
Yeah.
I'll probably take this photo again because I walk up and down these stairs all the time. I'll probably wait till some more interesting light, a more interesting time of day. And I think it would be nice if there were some clouds in the sky, or a bird, or an airplane, or something. So I think I'll be taking this one again.
Those side reflections at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or just the deep blue sky late in the day when you're lucky. That's I think that would look very nice. The only suggestion I would make is I want a little bit wider base. Seems like there's not a lot of stereo in this.
Sure, good point. Yeah.
But if you're going to shoot it again, you might want to try that.
I will shoot it again, and I think the two pairs that I chose for this, I liked the composition, but yeah, the depth could be exaggerated a bit. It really loses depth once you're looking at those buildings. So I'll try again, but I like the concept. It's one I'm going to keep working on. All right, thank you. Melinda, you're up next. The Tides Wharf is the title.
Yeah, so this is the Tides Wharf where Tippi Hedren was attacked by the bird, or when she came back ashore after being attacked. I don't know if this wharf was shown in the movie, or if the one that I'm standing on was in the the movie either. There's also um, far to my right, there's a the remains of a wharf that was burned down, and I think that might have been the one where it was shot, but I really can't say. And the people in the town don't really seem to know. And so it was sort of like the first place I stopped when I drove into town. Took a couple of snaps, and then at one point I asked one of the people at one of the restaurants if they had any bread that I could throw to the birds, just to get a more dramatic picture. And the woman was really horrified by the idea. Didn't want me, well, didn't want me to encourage me to do that, and possibly disturb other people who might be out there dining or something. There was nobody out there dining, so, but I didn't say anything about it. But then and I didn't do anything about it. But then the next day I had a chocolate muffin for breakfast, and happened to have that with me when I was sort of getting ready to drive out of town. And I thought, oh, what the hell? So I took a couple of handfuls of crumbs of the mushroom and of the muffin, and threw it out there. You can see that roof on the left side in the background. It's completely covered in birds. It's some sort of fishing business there. So the birds are clearly waiting for scraps. And there's similarly there's some big sea lions that are in the water there too. They all came out when I threw some stuff. So I was very happy that the birds showed up and gave me a much better stereo composition and much more appropriate for the subject. But I didn't push my luck trying to do that a lot. I just got a couple of shots and then got out of there.
I think the birds make this shot.
Definitely. I think that was the right choice, even if it was the wrong choice.
And great placement of the birds. I think they really balance the frame.
Yeah, thanks. I have one more that I'll probably submit at some point. So be prepared for that. I think this is the better composition, but you can judge.
This is the X-Beam camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really nice. Well, if you have the sun from the front, it's a really great shot.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got lucky with the clouds too. They're very pretty.
Great sky. I like the frame that's made there on the left. I don't know what that feature is, but that rectangle that we can look through to see, I guess, that yellow building that the birds are congregating on the roof. That's a nice compositional touch.
Yeah, thanks. I like that too. I think it's a windscreen, because where I'm standing there's a couple of tables and things out there. So I think it's just to keep the wind down.
Yeah, very successful. Thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
Oleg, tell us about Taylor Swift Loves You.
I was just practicing taking close-ups. Not much to say about it.
Did you change the color of the boy's hair in one of the
No,
one of the house? They're two different colors. Yeah.
Reflective.
Yeah, maybe that particular paint was was reflective. But he's got yellow hair in one and green in the other.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's pretty minor.
I don't know what happened there.
You've got a really nice through the window effect. On my loom pad, I feel like I can just turn the pages. It's not too extreme, but it's very convincing.
Yeah, it might make a nice phantogram composition.
My plan is eventually to do a partial oh, I can't speak.
That's okay. Well, I love the subject too. You know, I think we talked about this actually. I have one pop-up book that I've done some macro stereo shots with, one of which I exhibited here years ago, but it seems like there's a lot of untapped creative potential in shooting a pop-up page in stereo like this, because they're so inventive also. It's there's a lot of ways to admire a work like this.
Well, in the last 15, 20 years or so, there's been a revolution in pop-up books, a lot of origami techniques, a lot of really creative engineering.
Tor, do you have this Taylor Swift title
I
in your
do not.
collection?
No.
Okay. We'll enjoy it here.
Yeah. Might have to hunt it down. I've recently been collecting older books. I picked up a wonderful book, The Haunted House, from Hallmark. Hallmark did a series in the early 70s, and they're really clever and unusual. There's about 12 of them, and I may end up collecting them all if I can.
Very nice. Thank you, Oleg. All right, and we have our last batch of photos here. Looks like we're doing pretty well on time. I don't want us to rush anything. We have about 30 minutes left in our meeting. We might run a little bit over to give everyone enough time to participate in our poll and any discussion that we might have afterwards, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about Popeye Lion by Steve.
This is in my neighborhood. This is just a house a few blocks from me, and it's just put up all these statues, mostly animals. There's a Popeye on the left side that is, I think, the only copyrighted figure in the whole place. I saw the guy out there working, and he told me about how, somebody gave this to him, and then he said, "Wow, a free statue," and then it cost like $1,000 to ship because it was so heavy. Um, it's not of interest to 3D, but just I find it really fascinating. This particular house was a gray rectangle, the most boring thing in the whole neighborhood. And then people came in and they just added stuff to it. It's still the original box is still there, and they added this sort of balcony and bay windows and made it really interesting. And then they started adding all these sculptures, these animals. There's dragons and dinosaurs and monkeys and you name it. I was just trying to get a good angle to get some depth. So that's all that is.
Is that a Humpty Dumpty up on the wall there?
There is a Humpty Dumpty. Give a good eye, yeah. And there's a little slogan there. I can't exactly remember what it says. This makes a reference to the guy who collected all these sculptures. It's a variation on the original nursery rhyme.
Well, I like being able to look down that. I guess that's a driveway or an entryway or something. Being able to look through that fence is nice too.
Yeah, that's the driveway in front of the house.
I wonder if you could crop a little bit off the right, just kind of a little bit less of that roadway. You would,
Yeah, that might
Popeye,
improve it. Yeah.
you know,
You could even make Popeye pop out a bit, cropped, down the middle of his cap or something, have his ears stick out the side.
Yeah. I have another one that's looking at Popeye, and he's kind of sticking the spinach in your face, but you don't get the line, you don't get the house, so that's why I went with this one.
yeah, this one really kind of tells a story about this house, about this location. It's nice being
You
able to
could
see the
get a
neighborhood.
copy of the Robin Williams Popeye movie in 3D from Greece.
Somebody converted that movie?
Yes, the Nick from Greece.
Is that available on like eBay or something? Can we track that down?
Buy it from the fellow named Nick.
Okay.
I can give you his address.
We'll find it. Have you watched it, Lee? Is it worth
Yes,
watching?
I've watched part of it.
Okay.
It was filmed on an island that later that island became a park to that country. And
In Malta, the set is still standing.
yes,
even
Malta.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really recommend the movie. It's kind of a mess, story-wise, but Robin Williams does a great job, and Shelley Duvall is perfect casting.
That's right.
But the movie, I don't know, I think it's a mess. I heard that it was just like a nightmare. Robert Altman didn't know anything about Popeye, didn't know what to do, and they just slapped it together.
It's
It's
kind of
got all kinds of the characters in it. Wimpy, Sweet Pea, the bad guy,
Bluto.
Bluto, yeah.
Now, I'll ask this of Steve. Someone else might know also. Wasn't there a Popeye 3D short made in the 50s? Is that?
Yes, Popeye the Ace of Space.
Ace of Space.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good cartoon. I've never seen it in 3D. I don't know if I don't think it was it ever shown at like the 3D 3D Expo?
I didn't see it at any of the expos, and I haven't seen it restored or put to Blu-ray. I think it's one of the grails.
Yeah, because that's a really fun cartoon. It's post Fleischer, so it was done by the ex Fleischer artist, famous studio. But it's a good cartoon. It's got great action in it, and there's some really funny stuff. I'd love to see it in 3D.
Yeah,
I agree. It's like a holy grail. Let's get that one.
Yeah, let's hope the 3D film archive stumbles across the left and right film strips and puts it as an extra on one of their upcoming releases.
It seems that 3D Archive is aware of a lot more than they could ever legally release. They seem to have tabs on most of the stuff that's out there in some form.
Yeah, I think what they collect and what they restore, there's definitely a gulf there. Yeah, they could already have it. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Let's move on to Roberto. Roberto, tell us about Santa Maria Skyline.
Well, yes, this is a really simple picture. I took this yesterday. And here in my neighborhood, this is my neighborhood here in Mexico. This is a gallery, and you can go to the rooftop. And here you can find different kind of buildings, like really old the ones and really new ones, like in the background. But there's something interesting about the building, and the one that has two towers, similar towers. As you can see, it's an iron construction. That iron construction, as far as the history tells us, the iron was made at the same time as the Eiffel Tower. So some components are similar from the Eiffel Tower. So this building is protected by law here in Mexico because the his historic elements of the building. This was built in 1980, the late 1980s, the same time as the Eiffel Tower, and
1880s.
is one of the most iconic buildings here in my neighborhood.
It's a nice contrast, the old and the new, the high rises and the iron towers.
Yes, and close to the building, as you can see, someone is drying their clothes, so it's like a regular neighborhood here.
And you're on, it looks like a rooftop garden at a gallery, you said?
Yes, this is a really old building. This was well, if you see it, it's like a common building, but it's from 1907. It's more than 100 years old, and on the top they have this open area that they have a bar, and you can sit there and walk and stay there. It's a really nice place. But sadly, they are going to close the place because they are going to move, and I don't know what's going to happen with this place.
Yeah.
But as a memory from the place, I took this picture.
You did a good job of keeping the plants at or behind the window. I don't really see anything coming through the window. Nothing really looks astray.
Yes, this was with the W3. I took, as you can see, I was a little bit lazy this week with my only the W3. I didn't took out the RXOs. So this was W3, and as you can see, the colors are washed out, and I edited on Affinity, so they kind of get this Hollywood version of Mexico that is a little bit yellowish. Every picture of Mexico in Hollywood is like
yes.
yellowish.
Traffic.
Yes.
You might want to bump up the contrast on this just a little bit, but that's
It's
pretty minor
it's
feedback.
a little, yeah, the JPEG is a little bit difficult to work because it's if you well I was trying to edit it, and the pixels keep blowing out, so
Right.
it's difficult to work with
You don't have a whole lot
with
to work
W3.
with there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's February. The days are short. There aren't very many neighborhood events, street fairs. There's just not a whole lot to photograph this time of year. It's a challenge. Thanks,
Yes.
Roberto. All right, Herb. Cat
Thank you.
playing guitar. What can you say about this adorable guitar playing
Yeah,
cat?
so I mean, it's almost exactly what I described. I said a cat wearing jeans and boots and a hat and a scarf and playing a guitar, and it's perfect. Well, I mean, the conversion isn't perfect, but I love the image.
Sometimes with these images, I find giving it a less detailed prompt results in a better image if you kind of let the AI be a little bit creative, I think.
And that's what's happened in some of the others. This was a more detailed prompt, and some of the others were less detailed prompts.
One thing I'd say that's maybe not correct is how it interpreted the depth of field, because the two microphones are going to be pretty close to the cat and certainly look like it in 3D and also in the perspective. But the microphone, the farther away microphone, is out of focus about the same amount as the background, which is clearly way farther away.
Yeah, so Midjourney has a lot of trouble giving you an image that's in focus all the way from the front to the back. And actually, somebody gave me a technique to use to get a a better, you know, depth of field. And that is described in the book. And I'm generally just too lazy to write out the complete prompt to achieve that. But yeah, I wish it didn't always blur the background.
Could you tell it like, oh, I want everything to be sharp and clear?
You have to do more than that. And actually in the book, I give the precise, and I have a couple of images that show the technique. But what you have to do is you have to, well, I don't know if it's the only way, but the technique that somebody gave me was you have to say an image intended for 3D conversion where the entire image is in focus, and here's what's in the foreground, and here's what's in the midground, and here's what's in the background. I mean, you have to write out, and basically I've used it in a couple of examples, and you can actually Midjourney will honor that if you do all of the things in that recipe. And the recipe is in the book, but I generally don't follow it, because basically what I'm doing is I have an idea in my head, and so I just type the idea in as a prompt, and I get the images, and I don't take the time to do that.
I think I found a flaw probably with Owl is the neck of the guitar on the left hand of the mic stand is kind of set back, but the on the right hand side of the mic stand actually looks like it's taped to the mic stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the mic has no stand.
Oh, you're right. It's just floating there.
It looks
But yeah,
like it's...
the intersection, the foreground element is breaking the continuity of the guitar neck.
It
not
kind of looks like
recognized
it's
as a
clipped.
single object.
Yeah, maybe clipped to the neck of the guitar. It made sense to Midjourney, I guess. Well, thank you, Herb. As I said earlier, I've been very inspired by these. I'll show one or two of mine next month, and I look forward to seeing more of yours. These are just getting better and better. It's almost uncanny.
And one of the things is, I believe, if you're interested in the topic, I try and put a lot of knowledge into the book. So if somebody wanted to try and, start with where I am and move forward, there's a lot of hints that are going to help you.
And I encourage everyone to download this book. It's full of stereo images, and it's full of this knowledge that you can apply. And you don't have to use Midjourney, of course, if you're using another AI app, image generating tool, something like that. The same tips will apply.
And likewise, you don't have to use Owl 3D. You can use Immersity or others.
Right. All right. Thank you, Herb. Here's one of mine. We've seen this series before. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I do like this image quite a bit. It doesn't have as much stereo as some of the other shots I took at this beach. This location is 5-10 minutes from where Melinda shot her Bodega Bay images, her Tides Wharf and her Bodega Bay school. Melinda, did you continue past Bodega Bay?
Did I go out there? Yes, I saw it on the map. I remembered. Oh yeah, Salmon Beach. That was Matt's thing. And so I did drive out there. Unfortunately, kind of in the middle of the day was like right during like a really low tide or something.
Yeah.
So all of the breakers on the rocks were happening much further out than I could walk or safely try to get to. At a higher tide, I probably would have gone down and probably just taken the same kind of shots that you got, and you did a fine job of it. So I didn't feel a need to try to get that, but I did have you in mind when I was looking around there, kind of wondering which rocks you were shooting.
Yeah, and as you pointed out, the coastline changes as the tide changes. These were shot at high tide, so they're much closer to the sand than the time of day you were there. There are a lot of nice tide pools when the tide is out, but that's a different kind of stereo photography.
Yeah, and I thought about I never even actually walked down to the beaches. Not that it was such a huge climb, but I guess I just wasn't in the mood.
Yeah, you had plenty of other stuff to look at while you were there, I'm sure.
I like the composition here. The rock in the center really emphasizes the impact of the wave breaking behind it.
Yeah, thanks. I like the sense of solidity that this rock feature has.
I wonder how much you'd be able to darken the sky behind that spray, bring it out a little more.
Yeah, good question. I probably could. I mean, I think that there's enough contrast even now between the spray and the sky that Photoshop could probably distinguish between the two using, one of the tools.
It wouldn't take much.
Wouldn't take much.
So you didn't do anything to the sky?
No. What did I do to this? What I've been really focusing on lately, and I've mentioned this before, is the white balance. So I've really been focusing on trying to get accurate color using that color card that I bring around. I showed that a couple months ago. But I didn't really manipulate like the shadows or the highlights or anything like that, and I probably should.
Yeah, but you've got enough contrast between the spray and the background. So I just want to second what Tor was saying, and if you could darken it still further in the back, that would be fine. But the important thing is that it already does stand out, so it's working for you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I will try to darken the sky. It should work, and I think it would improve it having. I'm not going to make it too dark, but just giving a little bit more contrast between that sky and the spray. All right, thank you. Melinda, while we've got you on the line, tell us about Zizou Gets a Haircut. I think I pronounced that correctly.
I think so. Yeah, Caesar, I think, was the was like the main character in The Life Aquatic.
Steve Zissou.
Right.
Is that right? I forget, but I think it's one of Sean's favorite movies. So this is Sean, my neighbor, and yeah, when I this was immediately when I returned from my Bodega Bay trip, and I hadn't even been up to my apartment yet, and saw him in the backyard. His he's got kind of a bike stand that he jerry rigged for a leash holder for the dog, and he's doing a very good job keeping the dog calm while he's snipping away, and saving himself $200. He said, apparently a haircut for a dog is $200 now. So
Wow.
I applaud that. And he did a fine job too. We talked for a while he was doing that. I was very impressed. And I didn't have to do much with the image in Photoshop. There were a couple of things that I cloned out on the left side. Some small things like the hole in the middle of the table. It was some rivalry where you could see the ground in some places and not others. So I just painted that in black. Otherwise, just a bit of my normal Photoshop filters. And I spent a fair amount of time trying to get the crop just right.
I'd be really happy if I took this one. I think you cropped it perfectly. I think it's a really nice composition with plenty of depth. And that leash helps a lot too, sort of being an intersecting element.
Yeah, and I also got lucky with the exposure here. I took some shots from different angles, and it was shooting a little bit from the left or the right. The skies would kind of blow out, the colors would get kind of washed out. But here I'm shooting pretty much straight north, I guess, and the light was more muted until I got much better flesh tones and things. It helped to take a bunch of pictures from different angles.
What is the crayon on the bottom left?
What about the bottom left?
Yeah, there's on my screen, there's a crayon or something.
Crayon.
Oh, that's like an icon. Let's see. Can I get rid of that? That might have something to do with the screen share or something. Sorry about that. I see that too. And
some sort of editing cursor, maybe.
Yeah, what is that? Can I even? I don't want to break anything. Oh, what is that? Let me get rid of that. Okay, I think that's gone now. Let me get back where we are. Okay.
I still see it.
It'll disappear in a few seconds, Oleg. I think I got rid of it. Thanks for pointing that out. I have no idea what program that was from, but I dragged it out of the way and now it's disappeared. Do you still see it, Oleg?
Yeah, it's still there.
Huh. Okay. Well, hopefully it'll disappear in a few seconds. I'll keep an eye out for that next time. Stephen has mentioned Wes Anderson named Steve Zissou after J.H. Lartigue's brother. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but there's a link there with information about the origin of that name. And Lee, thank you for posting that email address, Nicholas's email address. He's selling the converted Blu-ray 3Ds, and we were talking about Popeye. If you want to see Robin Williams as Popeye in 3D, he's your contact, and it looks like he sells other Blu-ray 3Ds also.
So, what's the impact of the tariffs on the pricing of those nowadays?
Doesn't sound
Okay,
like a
I'll
commercial
tell
product.
you, he ships two ways depending on the month and so on. He will sometimes ship them at a higher price, I think just by him shipping them. In the other case, he will ship them to a friend somewhere in the United States. And then that friend, whoever it is, will ship them on. But there can be some big tariff prices.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. And thank you, Melinda, for this lovely photo. We have
Thank
one
you.
more in tonight's slideshow. Thanks, everyone, for sticking around for a few more minutes. I know it, might be past some of our bedtimes, especially those of us on the East Coast, but hang in there. We definitely want your feedback on the poll. But let's first hear from Oleg. Oleg, tell us about Contrail. I think the title is Contrail at Dawn. I have it spelled Contrail at Down, but I think that's incorrect.
Yeah, well, I meant Dawn.
Dawn.
Uh,
Contrail at Dawn.
This is from my my garden. I saw that contrail and I had to aim upwards, so it's a little difficult. And the contrail was moving, and I caught it about the last time that was in a good position.
Yeah, it looks nice. The only issue I see is you got some uncropped borders from when you did the auto align. So you just need to crop off the black bars on the top and right.
Yeah, I thought I had more detail at the bottom half. Those this is not the last version of the picture.
Okay, yeah, there's just extra black in the left eye. I think stereo photo maker on the align had to shrink the left one down a bit, so you've got black around most of the borders of the left eye. The right
Yeah.
eye, the right eye is okay.
I see it.
That's just a 10-second thing.
Yeah, that would be a quick fix. We'll get you set up again, Oleg, on your computer. I see that icon is back. I've got to do some research. I don't know what is causing that. I apologize for that.
Are you talking about the list of 10 or 12 things in a row on the left image or to the left image?
It's a palette tool. It's
yeah,
yeah.
It's bizarre. I'll track this down. It looks like it's probably some new feature that maybe Zoom has added or something. I don't want it to detract from our actual photos. This is nice, Oleg. It's a very nice framing effect, and you got that nice dawn light. Beautiful. Thank you. And that's our slideshow. We're not done yet. Now I see, yeah, we've got some graffiti up here. What?
That was me. Sorry, I can't see. I don't see how to erase it.
That's Lee doing those circles there.
Oh, there's Lee. Okay. So it's some sort of a
Uh-huh.
collaborative whiteboard tool that we
Oh, I
probably don't
see.
need.
I've been watching the YouTube, but yeah, it looks like any one of us can go in. That seems like a slippery slope.
That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But it will be useful for us, if we want to like point to something in a
Yeah.
picture,
It would be
as long as we can
nice.
just erase it quickly.
Yeah, to be able to circle or draw
Yeah.
arrows or
Yeah.
that kind of thing over photos. Of course, it won't be in stereo, but I think we'll still get the point.
Yeah.
If this is a tool that we can actually deploy, let me look into that, because we're often trying to describe something, some element in a photo. It would be easier if we could just circle it. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to do some research before we get into that. Let's vote. Let's do our poll. We're doing the ranked choice poll tonight. I will go through the photos and I will announce the titles and the makers so that we can familiarize ourselves again. This is a ranked choice poll. When you go to the poll, there's a link there. There's also a QR code for your phone or tablet. You will see the images in random order, not in the order that they were presented. Everyone will get a differently randomized list of the same 20. How many images did we have tonight? 26 images. You can reorder the entire list or just part of the list by dragging your favorites to the top. The more you order, the more accurate our results will be, but you really don't have to reorder the entire list of 26 titles. But please select at least 3 favorites and drag them to the top of the list. And if anyone needs assistance with that, just bring it up after I go through the slideshow again, and I'll provide assistance. We've done this before, seemed to work okay. I think the results, as we've discussed, are more accurate. It's not as convenient an interface, I feel, but let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to go through the slideshow again, and I'll just stay on each image for 2 or 3 seconds. I'll say the name of the maker and the title. If you're following along on the YouTube or the Twitch stream, there'll be a lag of 10 or 15 seconds or so, but it'll catch up. So that's
Oh, and I'll just mention too,
yeah.
if you start by putting your own images at the bottom, that would be great.
Good point. I will add that to the rules also. Yeah, we don't want to be voting on our own personal images to keep it fair. So if you could, drag those to the bottom. Yeah, great point, Melinda. I'll go through the slideshow briefly again, and then I'll give everyone a couple minutes to make their selections. And incidentally, you can make your selections before the slideshow, during the slideshow, or after the slideshow. I prepare the poll before the meeting. Here we go. Starting with Barbie Land by Steve. VW by Roberto. Cat Wizard with Birds by Herb. Bob Weir Homecoming by Matt. Bodega Bay School by Melinda. Little Egg Cluster by Ed. And this is really a lead up to Little Egg by Ed. Side Entrance to a San Rafael School by Oleg. Green Halloween by Steve. Crystal Tunnel by Roberto. Two Cats in Red Sports Car by Herb. Document Search by Matt. Crater Lake by Melinda. Bev Mo in Albany by Oleg. Oracle Coke by Steve. Melania by Roberto. Artist by Herb. Oakland City Center, 12th Street by Matt. The Tides Wharf by Melinda. Taylor Swift Loves You by Oleg. Popeye Lion by Steve. Santa Maria Skyline by Roberto. Cat Playing Guitar by Herb. North Salmon Beach 2 by Matt. Zizu Gets a Haircut by Melinda. And Contrail at Dawn by Oleg. That's our slideshow. Let's take 2 or 3 minutes to make our selections. If you can participate, please do. The more participants we have in the poll, the better. While we are making our selections, I will announce that our next meeting is next week, Tuesday, February 10th. It's our special, and we have a new special subject, contour and silhouette. Shoot into the light for stereo with backlit subjects. I think that describes it, but if anyone is unclear of what the subject is, let us know. We can clarify it. We haven't done this special subject before, so I'm very curious to see what we come up with. Oleg, I will reach out to you in the next day or two. I'm going to do some research on some computer recommendations, but I'll also want to touch base with you just to make sure that I'm considering all of your needs, and that we get a system for you that is going to be easy for you to use. So I'll be following up with you soon.
That'll be wonderful.
You got it. And while we're making our selections, if anyone who might have finished making their selections, if anyone has any announcements, any news, any questions.
So I have an
Yes.
announcement. If anybody is a PSA member, And this is thanks to Lee who pointed it out. It's in the January PSA Journal. The PSA is substantially increasing the membership fees, and they will increase on March 1st. So if you want to renew your membership at the existing rate, you can do that, but you can't do it online. What you have to do is you have to go online and print out the membership application and then fill it out and check the box that it's a renewal rather than a new application. And they will honor the renewal rate, even if my membership didn't expire until September of this year, and I was still able to renew at the lower price by mailing that in.
Do you know off the top of your head how much membership fees will increase?
I don't remember. It was substantial, you know, I think it was something like, you know, $50 for a 3-year membership was the increased price, something like that. So it was a substantial increase.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
The prices are in the January PSA Journal.
Thanks, Herb. All right. Does anyone need more time making their selections? If not, I will show the results. Let me temporarily stop sharing my screen here and pull up the results. All right. Is anyone still making their selections? Looks like everyone's done. All right, here's our results. Thank you for making North Salmon Beach 2. We'll call that our first tonight. We have Crystal Tunnel and Crater Lake tied for second. And we'll call Oakland City Center 12th Street third, and Melinda's The Tides Wharf fourth. All right. Thank you, everyone, for participating. And thank you, everyone, for sticking around a little late to tonight's meeting. We've gone about 20 minutes over. We had a great slideshow tonight. I will, there we go. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. I'm going to call the meeting unless anyone has anything else they'd like to announce. Tor, you mentioned the new Dragonfly Squadron restoration.
Oh, yeah.
I picked that. Here's
nice.
My 2014 restoration. So we're at the point now where they are restoring these restored titles on Blu-ray 3D. And I'll be
interested
watching
to see
this,
the comparison.
This 3D World demo 3D disc from 2010 that I found at a bin at Amoeba Music in Berkeley. So
oh, fun.
I have no idea what's on this, but probably a lot of fish and birds and that kind of thing.
I have the Disney demo disc, which is the only way you can get working for Peanuts.
Very nice, very collectible.
Last I checked, Working for Peanuts was side by side on YouTube.
Ah.
Oh, how about that?
At least that's where I got it back when you could download YouTube videos. I can't do it now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Should
And
still,
then
I can still do it. I use, what have you? I use MacX YouTube downloader.
there's a bunch of downloaders. I mean, they
Yeah.
might be strictly illegal, but people do it. It's very normal.
Oh, yeah, okay, so say it again, or maybe you can put it in chat.
Yeah, MacX YouTube downloader, and it's still getting regular updates.
Mac, is it for the Mac?
MACX.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's still getting regular updates.
And what was that video again?
The short is working for peanuts. It's Chip and Dale versus an elephant. I think it's the only like traditional Disney 3D short. But it's
And
pretty great.
Donald Duck. Donald Duck is with them.
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
There is a Casper 3D somewhere.
Blue Moon. Yeah, I think that's on the rarities disc.
Yeah, that's on rarities.
Thank you, Mike, for putting YTDLP in the chat. Another cross-platform downloader. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. I will see you next week. Great meeting, great slideshow. If anyone has any questions about next week's topic or about ranked choice voting, you can reach out to me via email, and I'll be reaching out to a few of you about some of the topics we discussed. Until then, I'll see you next week. Good night, all.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.